my brothers, my sisters, and my ballers. Welcome back to another match day of What's Football with our fans, with your favorite social football analyst, Tsepiso Pitsi, aka Tsebzoro. To the ballers passing by, I hope you like what you see, because I surely like what I do. And make sure to join the returning ballers who continue to show me gang love and appreciation by liking, commenting, as well as to subscribe. Without wasting any more time, let's just get a few things out of the way in congratulating my Sundowns in being crowned the DSTV 2022-2023 Premiership Champions without even needing to play over the weekend. With Supersport dropping points, it resulted in them being crowned champions whilst they were participating in the CAF Champions League, securing top spot and qualifying for the quarterfinals. But with that being said, there's a hot race for second place in the DSTV Premiership. Chiefs has gone on a run of 4 games without a defeat nor a draw, winning 5 games in all competitions, and they find themselves tied with Supersport United as well as Orlando Pirates, all being on 40 points with 6 games to play. Seeing that Orlando Pirates is currently placed second in the race for the second spot for the CAF Champions League, I'll speak on them first, who have had a great year this 2023. They've only lost to big sides, and when I say big sides, mainly their competitors. Just before the new year, after the resumption of play from the World Cup, they lost to Sundowns, as well as losing to them again in the new year. They lost to Cape Town City in Cape Town after leading, and their only other loss has been to Chiefs. As to everyone else in the league, they beat Supersport late on a few weeks ago with Bogi's penalty, and the other teams keep on being swept away. Richards Bay was beaten, Golden Arrows beaten, Amazulu beaten, and they've just been able to, find their feet. They've changed their fortunes in front of goal. Before the World Cup, there was a lot of talk of Pirates not scoring. These days, when they win, they score a minimum of 2 goals, sometimes it's 3 goals. Saleng has found hot form. He's formed a great partnership up front with Jukamanja, and the boys are now delivering for Coach Jose. They've always been a tight team to score against, a tough team to score against, if I may say, with Kogi and Sibisi particularly being a great signing, forming a brilliant partnership, making the job easy for Sipho Chwane inside the poles, who has relatively settled in quite comfortably, seeing that his defense has been rock solid in front of him. The coach has made a few changes after the World Cup, throwing Marco to the right hand side with Maela still operating on the left and showing flexibility at times, whether bringing in Hoto to operate on the left in a 3-4-3 system or just continuing with Maela in using a back 4. Not much has changed with the midfield. Still the formidable pair that started the season in Tim and Monare. Makaula was an interesting signing from Amazulu, who's been used well off the bench and used into the midfield at times. Dlamini is back. When Vincent Pule isn't injured, he plays well. It's good to see Temiko Siloj back from injury and playing more consistently, but the main man has truly been Saleng, who's arguably been the player of the season in the DSTV Premiership alongside Temba Zwane, and probably, if we look at the course of the whole season, you'd give a shout to Shalulile over Cassius Maela, even though Maela, since the turn of the year, has just been on smoke and cooking at Sundowns. But Saleng, man, what a signing from Swallows, and has operated all through the attack, from the right as well as centrally. If he's not scoring, he's assisting. If not doing that, he's creating chances and opening spaces for others to deliver, like Lamini, like Erasmus, who's played and deployed to use his intelligence, or even the smartness used in deploying Jukamanja as a striker. We had never seen him play as a striker for Bidvest, nor under the previous coach in Zimbabwe for Orlando Pirates. We always knew him as a winger, but this new role that he has as a striker, it's like Pirates have struck the lottery. He's formed an amazing partnership with Saleng. You understand why Erasmus can't get any game time from the start, because of what they produce They delivered the goods again on the weekend against Richards Bay away from home. They delivered against Swallows when Saleng scored a hat-trick against his former employers, with Erasmus providing a brilliant through ball for him at the end to complete the hat-trick. Chukwumanja also scored in that game, even though it was a fortuitous goal. Pirates has really found a balance this season under their new coach. The goals are coming now, and they're a tough team to beat. In the Nedbank Cup, they faced Dondolo Stars, who caused an upset against Amazulu. And the way Coach Jose sets up Pirates with a defensive block to hurt teams in transition, you can see Pirates being a cup-winning team in winning the Nedbank Cup as well. They won the MTN 8. What's stopping them from winning the Nedbank Cup? Even though teams like Kaizer Chiefs, who I'll speak on a bit soon, as well as Mamelodi Sundowns, are still in the competition. It's all to play for against Pirates. As we know and have seen, they basically only lose against their competition. They have a tough trip to the Eastern Cape this weekend in facing Chippa United, before facing teams like Cape Town City back at Orlando Stadium. Royal AM will pay them a visit as well, and they'll finish off the season against Amazulu at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Seeing that they're the team who are favourites to finish second in the league in taking the second spot, that puts you inside the CAF Champions League. Let's go on to speak about the other teams who are trying to earn their spot. Supersport United. Supersport United this season has grown in leaps and bounds. They've been a topsy-turvy team, really up and down. Introduction of many new players, great continuity from last season. Ricardo Goss has done his part between the sticks. We've always seen him as a great potential, and he's had a tough task but done really well in replacing Ronwen Williams, who ended up signing for Sundowns. I love the way Supersport is able to introduce youth, more so with a coach like Kevin Hunt, whether it may be youth from other teams around, like the signing of Mechaman on loan from Sundowns, or through the academy, players like Luke Flores and Jamie Weber truly cementing their place in the squad. Tyson Hlatshwayo has done his part in returning to Matsatsansa, and you can see why he was a rated player at a certain point in time. It's unfortunate he didn't have a good stint at Orlando Pirates, but he really was a good player at Wits in becoming club captain. He did his part for the national team, and there's some sort of form returning for him. The only problem with Supersport United is not being able to find consistency in results. Literally the whole season they've been like this. They were the team that was second in passing Richards Bay, and now Chiefs and Pirates, in going on their run of wins, has caught up to them. Bradley Grobler still continues to score. Gabuza still contributes off the bench. Sipesihle Ndlovu has now found his feet at a new club, and the interesting loan signing from Pirates of Lebasa has truly helped Supersport in attack, and we just have to wait and see how he'll do when he returns to Pirates, whether he'll be a player who gets game time in the league or will be used sporadically and have a greater influence in the cup competitions or cups in Africa. Seeing that they're out of the Nedbank Cup, they have a tricky fixture this weekend against TS Galaxy before facing off against Kaizer Chiefs in the penultimate game of the season, and then having a trip to Sekhukhune United to end off their season. There's also fixtures that are in their favor, with Stellenbosch and Amazulu coming through to the Lucas Masterpiece Moripe Stadium to pay Supersport a visit. And now we'll speak on the team placed fourth, who have surprisingly gone on a run of form. 5 wins in all competitions in a row, 4 wins on the spin in the DSTV Premiership. Even though other teams may be getting red cards, it's none of their business. Zwane is pushing his tutelage on. Whether it's a victory at home against Pirates through an own goal from Da, or beating teams like Maritzburg United and Richards Bay away from home, with Pirates having collected a red card. A lucky decision against Maritzburg with Yusuf Mat scoring a penalty to win 3-2. Red card collected by Richards Bay, even though it came after Ngezana's goal. As well as Stellenbosch this past weekend also collecting a red card in their 2-1 loss against Chiefs. Chiefs just don't have a consistency in the lineup as to who's playing, you know. You never know who's partnering Ngezana at the back or whether he'll even start. Matoa comes in and out. Edmilson Dove ends up playing, you know. Hlanti has kind of cemented his spot at left back. The midfield is continuously chopped and changed. Lom has left and gone to the MLS. Yusuf Mart has been the main player in the midfield throughout the season, but with the injuries, Sitebe has come back, who initially started with him in the midfield. And we've also seen the introduction of Samkelo Zwane, who's come from the MDC and the academy throughout the season, who I am very hopeful for going into the future and in future seasons with Chiefs, you know. I was really keen on the signings Chiefs made this season, you know. Yusuf Mart was brilliant last season for Sekhukhune United. Also did well under Hugo Bros for the national team. Sitebe Vele had fallen out with Amazulu. Solomons was a great signing, providing legs. If Chiefs could play a 3-4-3 system, I think he'd be an amazing wingback. Although Frostler can also do the same on both sides of the flank, you know. Solomons provides great energy, and the other signing from the beginning of the season, Ashley Dupree, has shown signs that he could be a goal scorer for Chiefs, but he's also poor in front of goal, you know, even though he scored this past weekend. There's been many injuries, there's many things that have destabilized Chiefs this season. Injuries, you know, it's a transitional season with the new signings. Binyamani has come in and shown his worth and shown his quality up front. Dolly has continued to step up and show that he's a leader. There's positives that can be taken out of Chiefs season, which can be thrown into next season, that I'm really hopeful for. The team that's bottom of the log comes and visits them this weekend at FNB Stadium in Marumo Gallants. And Chiefs has a tough finish to the season, with going to Supersport United in Matchday 29 before facing Cape Town City in Matchday 30. It's all to play for in finding that second spot to the CAF Champions League. Whoever finishes third obviously will play in the CAF Confed Cup, and there's still a lot up for grabs with Chiefs and Pirates still in the Nedbank Cup, with the winner of that competition also qualifying to play in the CAF Confed Cup. Mention down in the comment section who you think will secure second spot in the league, with all teams tied on 40 points, with Pirates having a greater goal difference as they don't concede that many goals. Even though the teams are neck and neck on 28 and 29 goals scored between the three teams, Pirates just don't concede, having only conceded under 20 goals this season, whilst Chiefs has 25 plus, and Supersport also has under 25 but minimum of 20. Let's see who will finish second place. Hope you guys have enjoyed this match day, my ballers. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and until next match day, live long.